Okay, let's unpack this. One question that's really topical right now is, who is liable when AI systems make a mistake? We've seen artificial intelligence improve at an absolutely incredible pace, haven't we? Just over the last few years, pushing boundaries we barely imagined. But, for all their sophistication, no one would suggest these systems are flawless.
No, absolutely not. Mistakes aren't just possible, they're pretty much inevitable.
Right.
And even with significant advancements, errors leading to real-world harm, injury, or, even worse, they can occur, just like they can with any human-driven system.
So that really raises a huge question for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
If we accept that some errors are inevitable, where does the responsibility ultimately land? Especially when we're talking about systems or services designed or run by AI.
And it's complicated, isn't it? Because the world lacks a single universal legal framework.
Exact.
Each country has its own laws, its own jurisdictions. So the outcome of any adverse event really depends entirely on the applicable law and, where it happened.
And crucially, let's be clear about something up front. AI systems themselves, they aren't currently considered legal entities, are they?
No, not at all.
We're not talking about granting them human-like legal personality, at least not in the short to medium term anyway.
Right.
So you won't be seeing an AI system in court defending itself, even if it could probably ace the bar exam.
Yeah, that's a critical distinction. An AI system can, however, be defined as a product.
As a product.
Yeah. And generally, those who create or use products can be held responsible should something go wrong.
So that opens up different legal avenues.
Exactly. This means we're looking at both civil law, which typically seeks compensation or damages for harm.
Right, making someone whole again, financially speaking.
Precisely. And criminal law, where a prosecuting body might decide a specific law has been broken and, seek penalties.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, the listener, as AI becomes more and more integrated into our daily lives? We're going to try and unravel this complex legal mystery today. We'll explore who the likely targets of legal action might be and look at some real-world scenarios to help you navigate this rapidly evolving landscape. So with that foundation laid, let's talk about the actual players involved. Because it's rarely just one person or one company on the hook when AI makes a misstep, is it?
No, not usually.
We have a whole cast of characters, you could say,
Yeah.
various entities who could find themselves accountable.
You're right. When we zoom out, accountability in AI involves quite a few layers. It's not just one person. First, we have AI developers.
Creators.
Exactly. Their core responsibility is to ensure the AI is built and trained properly, creating systems that are technically robust.
Sound engineering, basically.
Yeah, and free from unintended harmful patterns in their design or training data. And crucially, that they include safety protocols to prevent misuse or errors. So if their work falls short on those technical aspects, they could be liable.
That sounds like a pretty fundamental responsibility. But if the developers build it, what about the people actually, using it day to day?
Yes. That brings us to the AI users.
Right.
These are the individuals who operate the AI systems, and they bear a significant amount of sort of immediate responsibility. They absolutely must understand how the AI tool functions, what its potential limitations are.
Knowing what it can't do is as important as what it can.
Precisely. And ensure it's used appropriately and exercise careful supervision.
Okay, so user responsibility is key. What about their bosses?
Good point. Building on that, AI users' managers also play a critical role. It's their responsibility to ensure their teams get proper training on the responsible use of AI.
Training seems vital here.
It really is. And they need to oversee its usage within their teams, making sure it aligns with company policies and, best practices.
The chain of responsibility kind of cascades up the organizational chart. Does it stop at the manager, or does the company itself bear a bigger sort of overarching burden?
Oh, it absolutely continues up. Next are the AI users companies or employers.
The organization as a whole.
Yes. When an organization integrates AI into its operations, it really needs to establish clear rules for its application. They ultimately hold responsibility for the outcomes of AI implementation within their organization, which means they need strong risk management strategies and contingency plans for possible AI-related incidents. You can't just adopt AI without thinking through what might go wrong.
Makes sense. And what about the companies actually selling these AI systems? Where do they fit into this picture?
That leads us neatly to AI vendors.
Okay.
Those selling AI products or services need to guarantee they are offering trustworthy, secure, and well-performing AI solutions.
So truth in advertising, essentially.
In a way, yes. They may be held responsible if their product has defects, or, importantly, if they fail to adequately inform clients about possible risks and limitations.
Got it. And you mentioned training data earlier.
Right. And since AI systems heavily depend on data for their training and functioning, data providers are also in the mix.
The source of the information the AI learns from.
Exactly. They're responsible for that data's quality and precision, and also for guaranteeing ethical sourcing and compliance with privacy laws. Bad data in, bad results out, potentially leading to liability.
Wow, that's quite a complex web of potential liabilities. Who then has the ultimate oversight to try and bring some order to all this?
Well, ultimately, regulatory bodies bear the responsibility for creating and implementing the rules that govern the use of AI.
Governments, agencies.
Yes. Their role includes safeguarding the interests of the public and businesses, ensuring responsible AI use, and outlining the legal framework for accountability when issues arise.
And that's where the legal systems differ significantly.
Precisely. And here's where the different legal systems become really crucial. In places like the UK and USA, courts tend to look to legal precedent past rulings to guide new cases.
Common law systems.
Right. In contrast, many European countries rely on comprehensive legal codes and statutes, basically, detailed written laws that dictate how cases should be handled.
Civil law systems.
Correct. And this means the same AI mistake could have fundamentally different legal outcomes depending on where the case is filed, where it happened. It adds another layer of complexity.
Okay, let's try and make this more concrete. Let's dive into a tangible example.
Good idea.
Imagine an AI automation system handling incoming emails for a company. It auto-answers some, prioritizes others. Pretty standard stuff these days.
Becoming very common.
But what if it inadvertently replies to an email with an attachment containing highly confidential company information? A big mistake.
Oof, yeah. This is a textbook example of a potential legal minefield.
Who gets the blame?
Well, first, you could look at the owner of the email account, who would be the AI user in this case.
The employee whose inbox it is.
Right. Could they be held accountable for, say, misconfiguring the system? Maybe they gave it access to folders it shouldn't have had access to, allowing it to grab those confidential documents.
Okay, so user error is a possibility.
Definitely. Then building on that, could the user's manager be accountable? Perhaps for a lack of proper training on how to set up and use that specific AI system safely.
Right, the manager's oversight role again.
Exactly.
And then the company itself. Can they truly offload that responsibility onto an individual employee or manager?
That's the next big question. Or would it fall to the company to bear the burden of responsibility for even allowing its staff to use such a system, perhaps without adequate safeguards or policy?
So the company's decision to implement the tech.
Yes. And this is where things get truly intricate. Could the company try to deflect responsibility onto the AI vendor or the AI developers?
Arguing the system itself was flawed.
Precisely. Arguing they failed to include a crucial safety feature or maybe a clear warning that would have prevented the escape of confidential information in the first place. It's really not a simple question of pointing one finger. Multiple parties could potentially share the blame.
Yeah, you can see how these kinds of legal dilemmas are likely to become far more common as AI continues its march into the workplace. It's quite something to think about. Okay, so from the digital realm of email errors, let's maybe switch gears. Let's shift our focus to an arena where AI mistakes can have far more immediate and, frankly, physical consequences. Our roads, self-driving cars.
A very high-stakes area, definitely.
Yeah. It's reported that there are already something like 54 million vehicles with some autonomous features currently on the road worldwide.
That's a huge number already.
It is. And while, fully autonomous vehicles, the kind where you can just nap in the back, are still relatively few and operating in limited areas, the potential for accidents involving some level of automation is already very real.
Absolutely. And when we talk about self-driving vehicles, it's really helpful to understand the global standard for classifying them. There are basically 5 levels, 0 to 5.
Right. The SAE levels.
Exactly, because each level profoundly impacts where liability might lie in an accident.
Okay, maybe quickly run us through those.
Sure. So level 0 is, zero automation. It's entirely human supervision and control.
Standard car.
Yep. Level 1 involves basic automation, things like adaptive cruise control, but the driver is always assisting and fundamentally in control.
Okay.
Level 2 vehicles can manage both steering and acceleration under certain conditions, like on a highway. But, and this is key, the driver is still required to supervise constantly and intervene at any moment. Think Tesla Autopilot, for example, in its current common form.
Right. Hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, essentially.
That's the requirement. So at these initial levels, 0, 1, and 2, the driver is very much in control and, generally speaking, ultimately liable if something goes wrong due to driver inattention or error.
So the driver's still firmly in the driver's seat, legally speaking, for those lower levels.
Right.
What happens as the autonomy increases? That's where it gets complicated, right?
That's exactly where it gets interesting and legally murky. Level 3 vehicles are capable of handling most driving tasks under specific requirements, like maybe in traffic jams below a certain speed.
Right.
But they still need human intervention when those requirements are not met. The car will prompt the driver to take back control.
Ah, the famous handoff problem.
Precisely. The driver needs to take over, but how quickly? Is there enough warning? Who's liable in that split-second decision window when the AI says, okay, it's your turn now? This creates a really critical gray area for liability.
Okay, I see that.
Then you have level 4 vehicles. These can execute all driving tasks in specific predefined conditions or areas, maybe a geofenced downtown zone, without any expectation of human intervention within those conditions.
So truly hands-off within its operating domain.
Correct. And finally, level 5 is the kind of holy grail, the ultimate automated vehicle requiring no human intervention whatsoever, anytime, anywhere. It might not even have a steering wheel.
The robo-taxi dream.
Essentially, yes. And with level 4, and especially level 5, the liability picture shifts dramatically away from the driver and towards the system itself, and by extension, its creators and operators.
So when an accident happens with these higher levels, levels 3, 4, or 5, who's potentially on the hook then?
Well, liability in these more advanced self-driving car accidents primarily falls into maybe 4 main categories.
Okay.
First, and perhaps most obviously, manufacturer's liability. The car maker could be held responsible if the driver correctly relinquishes control of the vehicle to the automated systems, and then a defect or error in that system directly causes an accident.
A bug in the driving software, for instance.
Exactly, or a faulty sensor interpretation. Second, there's third-party company liability.
Who would that be?
This could apply to firms creating specific software components for the autonomous system, or maybe those supplying the mapping data that the car relies on.
Like the map data providers.
Right. If a critical software error from a supplier, or maybe dangerously obsolete mapping information causes an accident, that third-party company could be liable, not necessarily the car manufacturer directly.
Interesting. And what about other factors like, say, the mobile network connection dropping, or even just a faulty tire?
Excellent points. That's where service providers come in, and this category is actually quite multifaceted.
Okay.
Liability might rest with network providers, your mobile carriers, if a connectivity failure causes an accident, especially since many autonomous features rely heavily on real-time data streams, V2X communication, things like that.
So a dropped connection could be legally significant.
Potentially, yes. Also, component manufacturers like the makers of tires, sensors, LiDAR units, cameras, they could be liable if a faulty component leads to a system failure and a subsequent collision.
So the whole supply chain could be involved.
It really could.
Yeah.
And lastly, let's not forget, there's still driver's liability, even with advanced systems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this could occur when human intervention is required in emergencies, like in a level 3 situation, and the driver fails to react appropriately. Or if there's clear negligence in vehicle maintenance or servicing that affects the automated systems.
Like not cleaning the sensors, maybe?
Exactly. Something like that could potentially shift blame back to the driver. And it's also really important to remember that once a driver consciously disengages the autopilot feature, they are very likely assuming full legal responsibility for any subsequent accidents.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You're taking back control, you take back the liability.
Generally speaking, yes.
And, it's crucial to remember, I think, that in any accident involving an autonomous vehicle, you still have to look at the full picture, don't you?
Absolutely critical.
Was another human-driven vehicle actually at fault? Were there issues with the road surface itself, or maybe really severe weather conditions that exceeded the system's design limits?
All of that context truly matters. It's rarely just about the AI in isolation.
Yeah. And as we grapple with these incredibly complex modern dilemmas, it's sometimes helpful to look back, isn't it? It's worth remembering that this isn't the first time groundbreaking technology has forced legal systems to kind of play catch-up.
History often provides perspective, yes.
Right. Take, for instance, this really peculiar law from the early days of motor vehicles back in the UK, the Locomotive Act of 1865. It was often called the Red Flag Act.
Ah, Yes, the Red Flag Act.
Can you believe it? A person actually had to walk in front of these early self-propelled vehicles, literally waving a red flag to warn pedestrians and horses.
Seems almost comical now, doesn't it?
It really does. And this act wasn't even repealed until 1896, which then set a maximum speed limit of, wait for it, 12 miles per hour.
12 miles per hour.
It just shows how cautious and, frankly, slow legislation can sometimes be when faced with radically new technology.
And the striking contrast, of course, is that kind of sedate pace of legislation. It's simply not possible today with AI, is it?
Not a chance. The speed of change is just too fast.
Exactly. There's going to be a tremendous amount of activity, and there needs to be, in the legal and political worlds, to build the frameworks required to cope with the profound changes AI will bring, and is already bringing. As AI's role in business operations increases significantly, which it undoubtedly will, businesses themselves will need a really solid grasp of and a dedication to AI accountability.
Internally, within the company.
Yes. They'll need to evaluate and establish their own internal frameworks for the ethical and effective application of AI within their walls. It's not just about waiting for the law.
That's a proactive approach.
Yeah.
And for the entire legal systems, governments, regulators, I imagine it's a truly massive undertaking, almost like redefining how law even interacts with technology.
It absolutely is. We're not just talking minor tweaks here.
Oh.
Laws will need serious fundamental reviews to handle what is coming. This almost tsunami of AI systems and the deep shifts they will inevitably bring to our world.
Yeah.
It's not just a simple update. It's potentially a foundational reevaluation of liability, responsibility, even concepts like agency in some contexts.
Wow. Well, one thing's for sure. I definitely don't see lawyers being short of work in the years ahead.
No, that seems like a safe bet.
Okay, so we've taken a real deep dive today into an incredibly complex and really fast-moving area. What seems crystal clear is that determining liability in the age of AI isn't straightforward at all. It touches on so many different parties: developers, users, managers, companies, vendors, data providers, and even the overarching regulatory bodies.
Hopefully you, our listener, now have a clearer picture of this intricate web of responsibilities and a better sense of the rapidly evolving legal landscape surrounding AI mistakes, whether it's a simple email error or the much higher stakes complexities of a self-driving car accident.
Oh, the final thought then. What does this all mean for you? As AI continues its relentless march into virtually every aspect of our lives, far beyond just cars and emails, what other unexpected areas might it impact? And crucially, who will ultimately bear the responsibility when things inevitably go wrong in those areas too? How can we, as a society, proactively shape these frameworks now to ensure accountability and, importantly, build trust in these powerful new systems? Something to really think about.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep. Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please feel free to click on the link in the description below to discover more podcasts.